Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Lynn Wilson and welcome to my home. Welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to chat about having a fully stocked spice cabinet. Yes, spices. Variety is the spice of life, and you need to have some spice in your life. So you can buy a really yucky cut of meat or a really cheap cut of meat, and there's a couple of tricks to the trade. Listen, money's tight. We're all trying to be frugal. We're all trying to save our pennies. And especially if you're a family of 1, 2, 3, little family like me, you can buy a small roast. Let's just say you're craving a roast and you're just craving it. You can put that puppy into the crock pot with lots of seasonings. Let me tell you, the toughest piece of meat in the crock pot on low for several hours, 8, 10, 12 hours. Cook that puppy down with lots of spices. You're going to eat that and go, mwah, it's so delicious. Spices help any dish taste better. Let's say you have no spices in the house other than salt and pepper. What should I do? What should I stock up on? A stockpile should definitely include spices. That should be one of your basic things that you're going to get, whether you're starting a home, you've just moved, you've had to leave all your stuff behind, and you need to start over, or you just need to kind of freshen things up a little bit, and your stockpile's looking a little bare, you've kind of neglected it, things have been tight, and you kind of let some things go. You need to stick to making sure you get plenty of spices. Let me show you one spice I just purchased at the Dollar Tree about 2 weeks ago that I highly recommend. Okay, so one of the things I highly recommend is called Gourmet Burger Seasoning. I got this at the Dollar Tree. It's delicious. I bought it. I thought, we'll try it. I made some burgers. I got a cheaper package of ground beef. We made burgers. I put this on it, flipped it over, put it on the other side. Let me tell you, this stuff is delicious. So if you go to the Dollar Tree, they usually have a barbecue section, at least all the Dollar Trees by me. $1.25 gourmet burger. What is in this? That's a good question. Let me see if I can take my glasses off and read this. We have coarse salt, garlic, sugar, paprika, chili powder, onion, black pepper, crushed red pepper, and smoked flavor, and extracts of paprika. I do not like smoked flavoring, like if you get a smoked cheese, or I don't like that, but I don't taste that in here, so just wanted to highly recommend that. One other quick thought, and then I'm going to bring you up here. This is something I picked up at ShopRite. It was 96 cents, and it is just green onions that you get fresh like that. I have put it in water. I actually need to change the water. They are growing very quickly. I'm going to cut all these down, and then you can dehydrate them in your dehydrator, but I probably won't run my dehydrator because I only have that right now. But what you can do, put them on a paper towel, put them in your microwave. Just use a pair of kitchen scissors and chop. Put them on the paper towel, put them in the microwave. Do it for a minute at a time. They'll dehydrate very quickly. Put them in a little glass jar, and you've got fresh dehydrated chives, green onions, whatever you want to call them, that are great. And then all you do is you leave these bulbs in here just like that, and you keep refilling the water every other day, and they'll just continue to grow. Once in a while they get a little wonky looking, and then you just put them in dirt. They can grow in there. You can always buy another fresh one. For 98 cents, you can grow your own onions. Okay, so I'm going to just walk you through what I have, why I have it, and so on and so forth. So let me see if I can just bring you up close a little bit more. All right, let's see what we can do here. All righty. So you're going to see all my gray hair. Oh yeah, there we go. So in this section here, I just have some of these spice racks. You can get them at Aldi, Amazon, thrift shops. You always find this stuff, and yard sales and all that good stuff. So it's a little bit of, I tried to organize more savories and sweets. This is some caramel sauce for my son. I've got rainbow sprinkles. I have different puddings here that I use for recipes. I have a can of pumpkins so I can quickly access that. I have, this would be sort of like a Nutella, but if you've ever had these cookies, we call them coffee cookies. I don't know how to describe the taste, but they're insanely delicious. So I got this as an alternative to Nutella. Actually, I think we just finished up our Nutella. So let me pull this out and I will put it over with the other items that I have in another cabinet. I have some cocoa back there. I have some MCT oil. It's a big bottle. It's a vitamin. It's very good for you, especially for your digestive system. I don't have a place to store it, so that's why it's here. I have some corn syrup in the back. So let me just get this up here. Then down here, I have some dehydrated orange peels. I could do this myself, but this was something that I quickly grabbed for a recipe, which I've not made yet. I have original no salt all-purpose seasoning. I have not used this yet. I also picked this up at the Dollar Tree, haven't tried it. Everything bagel seasoning, yeah, we go through that. I just had to run to Ollie's. $2.99 for this size. This is 10 ounces. I don't know if you have an Ollie's by you, but they do a great bagel seasoning. I just picked up an extra one. I have some crushed red pepper down here. I have some cheesy seasoning, so if you make some popcorn or things like that, you can put it on there. Black pepper, some Himalayan sea salt in a grinder, some garlic pepper, and haven't used this yet. And then back here in the very back, I just have some individual drink packets that you can use for water bottles. These packets back here, they're probably 5 years old. We just don't use them. But it's one of those things I keep saying, well, it would be nice, you know, one day in case you just don't want to drink plain water, you want to put something in it, it's there. So now up here, I got these turntables at, let me bring it up a little bit so you can see better. I picked these turntables, they're clear, and I picked these up at, let me think, they were at Big Lots. Big Lots? Big Lots, yes. And I like them. They're on a carousel. Let me see if I can pull the one down. You can see it. And they had something like this also at the Target dollar spot. And in the middle here, they have another little section. So what I have in here, in the middle section, is I have my extracts. Vanilla extract, lemon extract, peppermint, almond, rum. All my extracts for my baking. So extracts are very important if you're going to add flavor to muffins and maybe homemade pancakes. And then in the turntable, I have cream of tartar. I have allspice. I have ground cloves. Almond. I'm not pronouncing that right. I can't think of how to say it right now. We have some more sprinkles. I have nutmeg. We have all kinds of other pumpkin spice. I do have, in addition to that, I tried to keep all my sweets here, but I ran out of room on the savory. So I do have some chopped cloves, some celery salt, extra packets when I've gotten HelloFresh. I don't want to throw out the seasoning packets I haven't used. I have an extra garlic powder up here, poultry seasoning. All the way in the very back, I have a big thing, I don't think you can even see it, of curry powder. I don't really use that often. Somebody had given that to me, so I keep it on hand. I have garlic powder complete. Let me take these two out. I want to talk about these in a moment. Parsley. Let me take that one out. There's a method to my madness here. I picked this up, Sauté Seasoning by Trader Joe's. I've not used this either. Now, it's funny. This is 21 Sauté seasonings. There's things that you pick up that look good at the time and then you never use them. But spices, they're very forgiving. They last forever. So every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I got to add something to this soup. I just grab something. I don't even know what I'm grabbing, and I dump it in. We have other things up here. Chili powder, ground ginger, more parsley. I did some homemade. I dehydrated my own parsley last summer, and I dehydrated that. Bay leaves. Let me take out onion powder, Italian seasoning. What else do we have? That's the basics. Then in the middle, I have a few extra things. I have Chinese 5 spice. It's called Chinese 5 spice. Got that at Trader Joe's as well. And my pastor's wife is from Guyana, and they do a kind of like a lo mein, and that's the spice they use. And my son loves it, so I got to try that out. And yeah, there we go. So at the very top, there are not spices up there, but this is where I keep my baking. So any muffin mixes and cookie mixes and things like that, I don't use them often because I usually do it homemade. But you know what? Anytime you're in a pinch, it's nice to have those things, and I've gotten them fairly cheap. So I'm going to move you to the other side and let you see what we have there. So hang on for the ride as we move over here. Okay, so here's another section. So in this section down here, I do have some more baking things that I could not fit at the top. I have some Crisco, all-purpose Crisco, butter flavor, regular flavor. I have some packets. My son bought these back from Brazil. They're like 10 different flavors. We're going to try that. I have extra extracts that I picked up. These I got at the Dollar Tree. Pure vanilla extract. They were $1.25, so I had to get those. I had to get the extras. Let me move these out of the way. I have ground cinnamon. So I like to have a lot of cinnamon. I use this for so many things, so I get a big one. I have a cinnamon and sugar. Yes, I can make my own, but these were $1, so I picked it up. In the very back, I have blackstrap molasses, and then I have some other alternative flours. I have coconut sugar here. I bought it. I don't even know what to use it for. One of these days, I'm going to figure that out. And yes, I picked that up. I forget, there was a purpose behind it at the time. I have my egg alternative, which I don't like, but we're going to figure out a way to make it work. This is my mixer right here. Then at the very top here, this I just picked up. I've seen Amy Marion use this. It's a bouillon, tomato-based bouillon. Every time I've seen it, it's been in a big jar. Way too big for my little tiny family. But this time I found this at, where did I find this? I don't remember. Might have been Walmart. Anyway, I picked up a small one of those. I make homemade chutney, so I canned that. I have 1 jar left there. I have some extra flavor things here, chicken bouillon and a vegetable seasoning. So I have that. We have some canned cherries back here, applesauce for baking. Then I have my own, this is, just shake it up a little, but this is dehydrated tomatoes that I just ground down to a tomato powder. Back here I have, this is a whole lot of celery that I had dehydrated and ground up. I have some cornstarch. I have dehydrated mushrooms. I have in the next jar back here, mushroom powder. Here I have some, as you can see, I have another one, but I want to use this up first. This is chopped onions that are dehydrated. So I have all kinds of stuff. So I have a lot more things toward the back of dehydrated vegetables, carrots and corn and green beans and things like that. Then at the very, 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 very top over here, I have, it's kind of like a cake carrier. I like that. I got it from the Dollar Tree. This other bin here is just some oddball things. And then I have some jams and jellies that I canned that I have up there, whether we need it or I need a gift for someone. So let me just give you a little bit more wiggle room here to see what's happening. Okay. Now you might say, Lynn, this is great. You have a ton of seasonings. I think, like I said, spices can take any plain meat and turn it into something fantastic. Any soup, even vegetables sometimes, or a vegetable stir fry or a pasta stir fry type thing. And tonight I had a great dinner. It was delicious, and I'll have a video showing that. I bought a chicken for $5, and I made a great meal out of that, and we just did some angel hair pasta and some garlic, and you'll see the video on that. But it was delicious, and all I did was add a few spices, and it spiced it up, and it makes it taste so good. You know, one of the things with good cooking is our senses. We want to sense things, we want to smell them, we want to taste them, the texture of things, all of that plays into our enjoying a meal. So if you're on a budget and you're like, I don't have a lot of money to, you know, just add some spices. It will make a difference. Now, you tell me again, Lynn, this is wonderful. I don't have room for all these spices. I mean, this is a big cabinet of spices. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know. Do you guys have something this large of a variety, or is it just me? Tell me. I don't know. But I enjoy trying new things. Do I like everything I've tried? No. But you know what? It's just part of the game of learning how to cook and bake and try new recipes. You got to try things out, see what you like. Sometimes I try something and I don't like it. I might bring it into work and say, can anybody use this? I might check with my mom. So, you know, I just pass it along. But if you can only have a few spices, one of the things I highly recommend is chopped onions. Now, as you can see, this is a big container. I buy this in the big one. I have a texture problem, so does my son. We don't like onions that are cooked. Like if you would fry them in a frying pan, they get kind of slimy. I don't like them. My son doesn't like them. I put this in tuna fish as is. If I make soups and stews, anything that calls for onion, 99% of the time, this is what's going in it. Now I have a whole nother one, but again, I'm just using this up before I replace it. Highly, highly recommend chopped onion, and then get onion powder. And that is one of your must-have staples. I had considered doing my own dehydrated onions and then grinding it down to onion powder, but then I thought to myself, do I really want the smell of onion that intense, kind of dehydrating in my house for 18 hours? And I thought, no, and I don't have like an outdoor pantry sort of area that I can plug in a dehydrator. So I've opted to continue to buy it. Listen, 89 cents at Walmart, I can afford that for onion powder. The next thing I would highly recommend is garlic powder. Onion and garlic powder are, next to salt and pepper, I would say are your basic things you should stockpile in your pantry and your spice cabinet. Another one would be Italian seasoning. Now, whether you purchase the whole jar of Italian seasoning or you break it down and you get all your different, you know, ingredients to make your own, either way is fine. For me, I don't use a ton of this all the time. So for me to buy it all separate, I just assume buy one jar for 89 cents and that's it. It's all put together for me and it saves space. Another thing I would highly recommend is get parsley flakes. Parsley flakes can really just enhance different things that you, whether you want to add it to a soup or a stew, or you just make maybe scallop potatoes or mashed potatoes, and you have the butter oozing on the mashed potatoes, and you put a few either chives on there or a few parsley flakes, and you serve it at your table for your guests. It just looks pretty. The next thing I would definitely recommend as a must-have in your pantry, next to garlic powder, onion powder, chopped onion, parsley flakes, and Italian seasoning, I would highly recommend some type of a chicken stock based bouillon. Whether you get powdered, you get cubed, it is great to have the quick and easy containers of like beef broth and chicken broth. If you had to go only between beef and chicken bouillon, I'd go with chicken. It's more versatile. If you can get both, great. But listen, if you can't always, you know, I understand. People say, don't get the containers of broth. It is quick and easy. I get it. I tried buying the Dollar Tree ones. I don't like the flavor at all. I stick to Walmart, Great Value brand. They're great. I do like to have them on hand. They're quick and easy if you don't want to do a quick soup. But having a chicken bouillon powder or cube, I would lean more toward the powder over the cube. And the reason is this. You can use a cube in making gravy and making sauces and making soups and things like that. But if you're going to do something where you want to spice up rice or you want to spice up a pasta, breaking down a cube would be more difficult. So that's why I would lean more toward the powder. The only other thing I would highly recommend, and I first came onto this particular spice at the Dollar Tree, but I now see it in Walmart in large containers. It's called Complete. Listen, if you can only get one spice, you can't afford salt, pepper, anything at all, I would go with Complete. You can get it at the Dollar Tree. You can get this at Walmart. They're the only two places I've seen it. Fantastic spice. I have recommended it before, and many of you said you went out and bought it and you loved it. So here you go, a fully stocked pantry of spices. Do we need spices in our life? Yes. Taste is everything. You could be a very simple cook and add a little flavoring and it's like, wow, who made that dish? That is delicious. I'm so glad you joined me tonight. I hope this was helpful in learning how to stock your pantry, stock your spice cabinet. What do I do if I only have a little bit of space and a little bit of money? How do I start? Start with those basics that I told you. I will leave those basic ones that I mentioned to you in the description below. I will list them for you. And I will be having a printable that'll be on my website. I'll let you know when that's up, probably next week, a printable of spices that I would recommend for baking and for cooking and for some other ideas as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget, I'll catch you all on the next video.